Hey, welcome back, everybody. There's a silence that follows the end of something big. It's that space between what you were and what comes next. And for a lot of us, that silence can seem louder than any siren or gunfire ever did. See, when you've spent years being told where to be, what to do, and how to do it, that direction gets hardwired into your DNA. But when that structure disappears, when the uniform comes off for the last time, your mission doesn't end. It just loses its map. And that's where goals come in. Not the kind of goals where somebody says, hey, think about your future. I'm talking about mission style goals, the kind you plan, execute, and adapt. Every person who's worn the uniform knows what it means to follow orders. But when it's time to build your next chapter, no one's coming to hand you those orders. You're on your own. So with that, let's get into round 97 of the tactical transition tips. This time the topic is you need to have goals. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away or you're less than a year out, transition is just a waypoint. Your separation date isn't the finish line. It's just a checkpoint for your continued mission. For the medium range group, those of you looking at your transition in 5 years or so, do a quarterly goal audit. Because success doesn't happen by accident. It happens by constant review and adapting. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, you've got at least a decade before your transition. Identify flex point indicators. The sooner you learn when to pivot, the smoother your career and your future transition will be. Close range group. You've got your date circled. Maybe it's a few months out. Maybe it's weeks. That date feels like the end of something significant. It feels final, but it's not. It's just a waypoint. You've operated your whole career, reaching objectives, executing missions, and then moving on to the next one. You've lived your professional life through defined parameters. Start, execute, complete. But transition doesn't work that way. The date you've been staring at, it's not the last page. It's simply a chapter break. Your mission doesn't end. It pivots. This is where a lot of veterans and first responders get tripped up. They treat that last day like it's their finish line. And they put off solid planning and preparation until then. But the second you stop moving, you start drifting. The energy that's driven you for years, that energy just doesn't switch off. It needs a new mission, and you've got to give it one. So here's where you start. Redefine what transition means for you. Don't think of it as a finish line. Treat it as a checkpoint. You're pivoting from serving an organization to serving your future self. That takes intentional planning. Start with 1 or 2 long-term goals that excite you. Something that makes you want to get up and move forward. And not just the generic, I need to find a job. Go beyond the surface. What does mission success look like to you after transition? Is it starting something of your own? Maybe it's teaching. Maybe it's helping others. Whatever it is, write it down and make it real. Then reverse engineer how you'll get there. If you can plan an operation, coordinate a response, manage a critical incident, you can build your own roadmap for what the next phase looks like. So let's talk structure. How compartmentalizing has kept you alive in high-stress situations. It's time to use that again. Break your goals into small, manageable missions. Phases that you can track. Think of it as a campaign with multiple objectives. Each step should have a timeline and a clear metric for success. Because when you treat your goals like missions, you start operating with purpose, And that's what keeps your momentum alive. Now, we all know this. No plan survives first contact. So treat your transition goals and your objectives the same way. Every few weeks, take a tactical pause. Review what's working, what's not, and what you need to adjust. Maybe your timeline changes. Maybe a new opportunity presents itself. Maybe a job that you've been chasing goes away. Not everything will remain certain. You need to remain flexible because flexibility is awareness. And here's something most people won't tell you. The hardest part of this entire process isn't the planning. It's the emotional crash that comes afterwards. For decades, you've been part of something bigger than yourself. When that disappears, there's a void. And if you don't fill it intentionally with goals, a purpose, a new community, it'll fill itself with frustration, boredom, and likely regret. So build your own accountability structure. That can mean joining some type of peer group, partnering with a friend who might also be transitioning, or connecting with someone who's already transitioned out. Whatever you do, don't do this alone. Having someone that checks in on you keeps you disciplined. And another thing, guard your energy after you leave. The first few weeks, they're going to feel like freedom, like that deep exhale that you've earned. But around a month, 2, 3 maybe, that quiet can start to echo. That's when you've got to make sure you have your next mission. Set something in motion that pulls you forward. And this doesn't just mean a job search, because hell, some of you might not even be looking to go to work afterwards. But you always need a new challenge, a skill, a goal that reminds you you're still moving forward. Because your value didn't retire when you did. Everything that made you good at your job, the discipline, the focus, the composure, those aren't just professional traits. They're personal assets. You just need to reapply them. Your transition plan isn't a checklist. It's a lifeline. It maintains your identity when the uniform comes off. So take that same operational mindset that served you all these years and apply it to yourself. You wouldn't go on a call or on a deployment without a plan. So don't go into the rest of your life without one either. Transition isn't the end of your story. It's just the start of a new mission. Treat it like it matters, because it does. If you're like me and you love your coffee, my go-to lately has been Blue Line Roasting. They're a Tennessee-based and law enforcement-owned company, roasting small batches of premium beans. You've got choices from Patriot, which is their light roast, to Failure Drill, their dark roast. They roast all their beans fresh, within 48 hours, and ship them to you even faster. You can also get your beans ground for you or delivered whole. Your choice. But here's the cool part. A portion of what you spend goes to support law enforcement families dealing with the impact of line-of-duty injuries or loss. You get an incredible coffee, and they get the help they need. Choose a single bag, a sample pack, or start a subscription so you're never out of coffee. Oh, and shipping is always free. Also, for the listeners of this podcast, use the promo code TRANSITION10 to get 10% off your purchase. So head over to bluelineroasting.com and make every cup count. Medium Range Group. You've got some distance between now and your transition. And that's both a gift and a trap. It's a gift because you've got time. Time to plan, to prepare, to shape the future before it's staring you down. But it's also a trap because 5 years feels like forever. But that day will come faster than you think. And the ones who succeed aren't the ones who figured it out when they got there. They're the ones who started working on it while they still had time on the clock. So let's talk about a quarterly goal audit. It's built on something each of you already knows: structure, routine, and accountability. Every 90 days, you need to do a simple review. Ask yourself 3 questions. What do you need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? And what should you continue doing? That's it. Start, stop, continue. It's simple, but it's purposeful. So let's dig into each one. The stop category. This one's about honesty. It's easy to stay busy doing things that no longer move you forward. Maybe you're still taking those extra overtime shifts that keep you from actually developing new skills. Maybe it's staying in a comfort zone because change feels unsettling or difficult. Whatever it is, identify what's no longer serving the person you're becoming. You can't move forward if you're not letting go of what's holding you back. Next is start. This is where courage comes in. Start developing the skills that'll build your civilian readiness. Take a class, get certified in something. Learn something that translates outside of our world. Start connecting with civilian people beyond your immediate circle. The same curiosity that made you great in this career can make you a powerhouse in your next career, if you feed it. And then there's continue. This is where you look and lock in on what's already working. If you mentor younger people or coworkers, keep doing it. If you volunteer, keep showing up. These are the things that are going to bridge the gap between who you are now and who you'll be later. The quarterly goal audit is simple, but it's necessary. It forces you to stay aware, adaptable, and being intentional. Because what gets measured gets improved. Here's what I recommend. Keep a journal. Every quarter, record what you accomplished, what shifted, and what you learned. Use the journal as your playbook. When the time comes to transition, you won't be guessing. You'll have data on your own growth. And don't just make this about your career. Include your physical fitness, your mental health, and your family life. Those matter just as much, if not more, because they're the foundation your next chapter is going to stand on. Also do this audit with your finances. The same stop, start, and continue. Every quarter, review your finances just like your goals. What's coming in, what's going out, and what's growing. Then, cut the waste, build your savings, and reduce your debt. This is an important component of your life, and it requires your discipline because money gives you options. Options give you confidence. Confidence gives you peace. And finally, don't do this alone. Nothing in our careers is done alone. Find someone, a peer, a mentor, who will be able to hold you accountable. Maybe it's somebody senior to you. Maybe it's someone on the civilian side who can challenge how you think or how you see things. But every quarter, have conversations about where you're at and where you're going. You'll actually be surprised how much clarity comes from saying your goals out loud. The quarterly goal audit isn't about micromanaging yourself. It's about leadership. Leading yourself with the same discipline as you do in this career. The next 5 years are going to pass, whether you make plans or not. Your choice decides the outcome. Build the habit now. Audit your goals every 90 days. Because when you do take the uniform off, you'll already be moving in your best direction. That's forward. Let's be honest. We're hard on our sunglasses, especially first responders and military members. They get dropped, scratched, left on the dash, or crushed in our gear bags. Frontline Optics gives you the same premium quality and eye protection without the high price tag. Sure, you can spend big money on the designer brands, but why should you? From polarized UV 400 lenses to anti-reflective and water-repellent coatings, every pair of Frontline Optics glasses is built to handle the demands of the job. And here's the best part. When life happens and they break, Frontline Optics has a no questions asked replacement program, even for prescription glasses. If that's not enough, Frontline Optics was founded by a firefighter, and a portion of every sale supports the First Responders Children's Foundation, helping the families of those who gave everything. If you're looking for sunglasses that look good, are built tough, and that come from a company that gives back, visit frontlineoptics.com and use the promo code TRANSITION10 to get 10% off your purchase. Frontline Optics, from a first responder for the front lines. Long Range Group. You're early in your career. Transition probably doesn't even cross your mind. But ask anyone who's retired or transitioned and they'll tell you the same thing. It goes quick. So this stage, it's all about setting up the future you for success. The habits you build now will either make your career and your transition seamless or chaotic. So let's talk about flex point indicators. These are measurable signals that tell you when it's time to reevaluate your plan. They're not gut feelings, they're data points. Think of them as early warning systems for your career. Let's say you hit a ceiling with promotions. Multiple tries, no movement. That's a flex point indicator. It's telling you need to reassess your path. Maybe morale's dropped in your organization. There's a shift in leadership. Trust is eroding. That's another indicator. It's time to consider whether your environment still fits your goals. Maybe you notice your job specialty is becoming obsolete, either because of changes in technology or simply that function is being phased out. Think of it this way. Imagine you travel back 20 years and you heard someone mention drones or UAVs. Knowing what you know now, would you pivot? Would you try and learn more about them? You have to always be evaluating your career. Identify a flex point while there's time to still reskill before the rug gets pulled out from under you. Every 5 years, review your career and your personal life. Ask yourself, is my current plan still relevant? Have my priorities shifted? What external factors are changing my environment? That review keeps your compass calibrated. Because the moment you stop assessing, you start assuming. And assumptions, well, we all know what assumptions are. The earlier you identify your triggers for change and the earlier you take action on those flex points, the smoother every pivot becomes. Flexibility and adaptability are strength. It's awareness. It's your intelligence for you to make the best decisions. That 5-year rhythm turns your career into a series of controlled evolutions, not abrupt transitions. If you see things changing, good or bad, that's your signal. Course correct before it comes a crisis. The same goes for your emotional well-being. If you feel burnout, resentment, detachment, all starting to kind of creep in, don't ignore it. That's a warning light on your dashboard. Step back, find your solution, and adjust. This is about building a foundation, not just for your career, but for the version of you that's going to exist long after the uniform. Because when this career ends, your identity doesn't have to. And remember, every operation you've ever succeeded in required something very important: adaptability. That same skill serves you now, and it's going to serve you even more in transition. Flexibility isn't about changing your goal, it's about changing your route. Your mission remains the same. Live with purpose, serve with meaning, and build a life that fits who you're becoming. This decade or more ahead of you, it's your training ground. Make it count. So let's close this out. Transition. It's coming whether you're ready or not. You can't delay it. You can only direct it. And goals, they're not just strategies. They're anchors. They're what keep you grounded when everything else starts to shift. When you've spent years serving, Your mission has always been clear. But when the action stops, the mission has to come from within. Whether you're leaving soon, 5 years out, over a decade away, how you plan and how you adapt is how you control the chaos. So plan and execute like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. The uniform will come off, but your mission doesn't end. It just evolves. And when that next chapter arrives, you'll know exactly where you're headed, because you'll already be living, knowing you need to have goals. If you've stayed until this point, thank you. Staying until the end helps engagement. Please let me know any comments you have. What I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what is not there for you. Reach out to me on social media. You can send me an email. The links are all in the show notes. Another ask, please share the podcast with anyone you think could benefit from and enjoy it. And last, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.